Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something pretty interesting that's really starting to change online gambling. It's called social betting. Sometimes people call it split your stake betting too. Our goal here is to sort of unpack this, figure out why it's catching on, and what it all means.
Absolutely. And what's really key, I think, is how it taps into this very human thing, wanting connection, wanting shared experiences. It takes betting, which can often be, well, a pretty solitary activity, and turns it into something you do together. Amplifies everything, really.
That's a great point about connection. So, practically speaking, what does this look like? How does someone actually do social betting?
Okay, so imagine you're on your usual sports app, but instead of just placing your own bet, you decide to create a kind of mini pool. You ping, say, 5, maybe 10 friends. Each of you chips in a bit, maybe just $5 each.
Right, a small amount.
Exactly. And suddenly you're all in it together. You share that excitement, that tension, and yeah, the potential payout too. It's really taking off because it's just so different from that traditional, just you against the house feeling.
Less isolating, you mean?
Totally. Think about watching a match. Every goal, every close call, every foul, it's not just your reaction anymore. It's a shared thing, like collective cheers or, everyone groaning at the same time. It becomes communal.
Hmm.
And the risk feels different too. Putting down, say, $50 yourself might feel like a lot, but $5 as part of a 10-person pool, that feels more like a bit of fun, a shared gamble. High risk, high reward, but shared. The risk is spread out, makes it feel, I don't know, more accessible maybe.
Yeah, I can see that. And what's really fascinating is how the big platforms, the betting operators, are responding.
Yeah.
They're not just watching this happen. They're actively building social features right into their apps now.
Oh, definitely.
Things like creating private groups, with passwords,
Yeah.
splitting the cost of entry tickets, tracking who put in what, live leaderboards showing who's winning within the group, even discussion threads right there in the bet slip area.
Yeah, and automatically calculating the payouts too, prorated based on contribution.
Right, so it's all handled. Some even have spectator side bets just for bragging rights among friends watching.
It completely changes the feel, doesn't it? It goes from being just this like functional interface to something much more like a social gaming lounge. You've got chat, banter, that friendly rivalry happening right there.
And for the platforms themselves, what's in it for them?
Well, loads, actually. It boosts engagement, obviously. People stick around longer, interact more, but it's also like free marketing almost. Viral growth. You bring in your friends, they bring in theirs. It creates this sticky network effect that's much harder to get with just standard advertising. It really shifts their thinking on getting and keeping customers.
Okay, but there's usually another side to these things. With social betting, is there a risk? Like group pressure. People may be betting more than they plan because their friends are.
That's a really valid point, and yeah, it's definitely a concern. The platforms seem aware of it, though. They're building in safeguards, things like clear risk warnings popping up, timed reminders to maybe take a break, cool off periods, and importantly, group spending limits.
Group limits, how does that work?
So the group can decide up front, like, okay, the total pool for this bet won't go over $200 or whatever amount. It gives everyone a bit of control and protection. And if you're thinking of setting one up yourself, the advice seems to be agree on a budget per person beforehand, set that group cap clearly, and definitely use the chat tools. Keep the banter going. That's half the fun, right?
Right. Keep it light. So looking at the bigger picture then,
Yeah.
what does this all mean for you, the user, and where this might be headed?
Oh, the future stuff is kind of wild to think about. I mean, you could easily imagine VR social betting lounges where you're there with your friends' avatars, maybe live streamed hosts calling out your group's bet, deeper links to social media maybe, tagging your betting squad, sharing stats instantly.
Wow, okay.
It really makes you think about how technology keeps changing the way we, well, share experiences and interact, even in places you wouldn't expect, like betting. How do we balance that individual risk versus the pull of the group experience online? It's fascinating.
It really is. Lots to think about there. Well, that's all we have time for on this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.